Like there's this one guy, Bashar, who channels an alien. Then there's other people that channel like relatives and things like that. It's like, hey, welcome back to Uncivilized Rebirth. Hopefully, it's a voice of sanity and reason in your life. Okay, so today I want to go to the subject of the energy body. I've been talking about the brain a little bit, about keeping it clear from people's words in the world and using it for what you want to use it for. And now there's a subject about the energy body. One more thing. If you do watch this and you hear about techniques that I teach, I want to challenge you to try it. Try drawing pictures in your mind that are very simple when people are saying stuff that are trying to build pictures in your mind. And when you start having your attention on knowing what they're doing, it changes your world from the inside out. Okay, so I'm going to brush my beard a little bit. I have a special guest today. It's the beard brush. Very handy dandy. It kind of takes care of 3 videos ago I had this patch of hair sticking down. And so this takes care of that happening. So I just do this every now and then. I don't have to worry about stray beards. Even that is a big deal. It's not a big deal. But I like to keep my beard straight. Okay, the energy body. What is the energy body? Is it a hippie term? Is it something that's just like way out there and just some silly concept that I've heard of that makes no sense and I ignore it because I don't care about it? It has to do with this mystical, spiritual, like energy healer bullshit. It's like, I'm not even going to talk about that because I deal in the world of rationale and all of that is dumb. I would like to try to change your perspective on the energy body and to bring your attention to your energy body. Because when you change where your attention is internally, you will change fundamentally at the core. So imagine this. Imagine, follow me down the rabbit trail, Alice. Rabbit hole, forgive me. Rabbit hole, follow me down the rabbit hole. Imagine that there's an entire realm or world or layer of mechanics that operate in our reality that we can't even see whatsoever. It's from the bottom and from the top, like I'm holding everything and moving everything. There's energy. So our reality, you'll see where I'm going with this. Our reality is held together by this construct of like a total different reality and makeup completely. Because all of this could not exist without another realm holding it together. And to give you food for thought, there is an amazing technology in this body that turns anything you put into it, finds the stuff it can use and turns it into this body. And you don't even have to think about it. It does it on its own. There is a structure to that. There is a format to that has instructions inside your body, and it's the same for the entire universe for how everything operates. Like if this does this, then this does this. Just the way it is. And what can transfer from that structure of reality to this structure of reality, different structure, is energy. Energy goes through all of it. Energy is a whole deal in and of itself. It is not of this realm and it's not of that realm, but it connects and it works in both of them. This realm cannot really see what's going inside that realm. That realm can kind of only feel in a certain type of sense. The way that we can sense, let's say, the way we talk about, some people have spiritual experiences, or you hear of people seeing ghosts, or people that are what's it called? Channels. Like there's this one guy, Bashar, who channels an alien. Then there's other people that channel like relatives and things like that. It's like, who knows if they're real or fake. But some things, like in the spiritual world, I've heard of stories and I've experienced myself that I know for a fact, okay, this is real. So they can only sense us, that realm, the way we sense that realm. Every now and then stuff comes up. You know, it's like every now and then, like there's like something crossing that border, that veil that is sensed and perceived on this side or that side. So I keep looking away because this light is so freaking bright. Y'all might have to just deal with the shadow for a little bit because it's killing my left eye. So, but I'm going to bring it back up. So there's this whole entire realm that exists, but it exists at the same time as ours. And energy goes through both of them. Our bodies have an energy body. Let me explain this. And this is how our energy bodies interact with that material that goes between both of those worlds or both of those realms. It is something that we have and we carry and that is affected by it. Different energies have a different effect on us and frequencies. And the energy body is very sensitive to some certain energies and frequencies. And also the energy body can take damage from trauma. Let me explain. First, let me say this part. If you have a leg that's cut off at the knee, and no, I started the story wrong. Have you ever heard about how people have an arm or a leg missing, and then they still feel pain in that limb? And they call it phantom leg syndrome or whatever. But it's they feel the pain. Well, the energy body leg is still there out in whatever dimension it's in. It's still there. So like that's where the pain is coming from. So when you think about that, imagine how much pain in your lifetime you've experienced that made no sense. And it was on your body somewhere around and you couldn't understand it. That could have been pain on your energy body or a sensation on your energy body. But you just never registered it because you've never understood the concept and you never really gave it any thought. So check this out. Like, this is something about muscle cramps. Like, when you have a muscle cramp, it's a signal going from your brain saying, hold this muscle as tight as possible. So it's like a switch that's flipped on that's just not being flipped off whatsoever. It's energy being sent to that muscle because to make the muscle bigger, blood has to go in there. Energy moves that blood, so you're moving energy into that muscle. And it's like, how do I like keep all of these blood cells inflated and rotated out, but keep it all right here as much as possible? But it's not only sending tons of blood right to that spot over and over and over, you know, and it almost has to be like, it's like every muscular cell in there is being like infiltrated as much as possible with blood. So it's just stressing, and it hurts. The energy has to go somewhere also. It's just like building up. So it's like almost like a wasted energy or a energy that's been used and it needs to be refreshed, and it builds up though on the energy body, and it just builds up and builds up. So like that has to be like taken care of energetically, or stretching. Stretching actually does that because to the best of my understanding, the energy body is basically how you view your entire body. That's how it's made up. And it's moving around with you as well. Because it kind of takes your imagination or ideas to move this stuff around. And that's kind of connected to your mind and energy body. So it's like in unison, like moving. And like not just in the 3D, but then your energetic body also. But then there's also energy going through your body, moving all of that. So a decent amount to think about. So the energy body's there, so you can have, I guess, not static energy, but just built up energy in just one spot, and it needs to be like stretched and released. The tension needs to be like, that muscle needs to be stretched and relaxed. But then also in doing that, you're like kind of stretching the energy body, and it's stretching out, and it's like it's able to release and let energy flow. Because if you check this out, if you have energy pockets of like from cramps, or just like, it's like that's not stretched out well, energy is not going to flow as easily over your energy body, because that's what it's there for. Like, it helps with the energetic world. That's the best way I can put it right now. So basically, you have this whole suit that you can't see, but you can perceive it at times. And that kind of gives you a little more explanation on when the hairs stand up on your arms. You know, that's like a certain charge going over your energy body of like high alignments, like high quality energies coming out. Like, think about that. It's not hurting you. It's just this amazing, tingling, pure energy of like, whoa, yes. Like, and like, what if, like, I think in life, the more that happens to you, the more on track you are for doing the right thing. But so that's just to tell you that energy like changes in your body. Like, have you ever touched a doorknob when you're little? It's like the static snapped you. You know, it's like there's a little charge. Is it really going in your body, or is that running off your energy body, releasing a charge off your energy body? Think about that. When you're scuffing your feet, you know, and you're building it up, you know, or using the balloon with the static energy, is it sticking to your meat sack, or is it connecting with your energy body? Because you're changing the alignment that's going to attract on the energy on the balloon, basically. And so then it's like, boop, you put it together and it sticks. Because like that's the only way to explain that. It's not you're changing the rubber on the balloon, you're changing the energy on it and the alignment. It's just a cool little thing, you know, at 60. It's like, oh, well, exactly why is that happening? You know, is it my meat sack? No, this is the energy body. Anyway, getting off on a little bit of rabbit trail, but it's very important with stretching and healing, because here, let me say this. So if you go through, I'm getting on a rabbit trail now. If you go through a time where you're in combat and you're tense all the time, well, you're going to have this like long-term tension built up on your energy body, and that needs to be stretched out and released. So it's very important to, at times, you know, take all pressure off your lower back. Stretch your hamstrings, stretch your lats, get on a foam roller to help release knots in the muscles. But when you stretch out and you get everything all loosey-goosey, you're going to find you have much more mobility and much less stiffness, and your body's more mobile and agile and can operate better because it's just not pent up in these certain positions. But if you've gone through something like war, you may just be stressed all the time. So it's like our healing has to go even deeper, like onto like an energetic level of like, we got to make sure there's not all this extra just unused energy, basically, or focused energy in this area. And that helps this whole area flow better with energy, because we have energy flowing through us and basically around us. It's pretty fascinating, and if you think about it, you know, it just makes sense. But it takes a little while to kind of think about it, analyze it, do research until it starts clicking. And here's the cool thing. When you go down that rabbit trail, you become more keen to your energy and what it feels like and how to better operate your body, because we're running on energy, like a whole, like not just food we're eating and the air we're breathing, but there is an energy to everything that is around us, and our energetic body interacts with that. And so we need to care with our energy body, because some people not care for others with their energy body, but care for our energy body and stretch. In conjunction, the stretching is super critical to go in situations that are high stress, because you start carrying that on you. Like in your energy body, it's just like, oh, because some people I've talked to, you can feel an energy in a room and you carry that with you. So that has to be basically stretched and released. You let go of all that tension that is built up. So a good stretching routine should be making sure all the muscles around your hips, where your femurs tie in there, all of those are very stretched very well. Not to the point of pain, but consistently. And then also your big muscles on top of the leg and on the bottom of the leg, the femur. You got your quad and your hamstring. And then your calf. You want to stretch your calf also. It's very important to stretch your core by hanging or hanging up. I like to hang upside down by my knees, and I can help my core stretch, and it takes all the pressure off my lower back. Then I'll use a band to stretch my upper back, stretch my chest, and I'll roll out my biceps. I roll out my back especially a lot. And that just helps maintain just a very reflexive, loose body that's not pent up and stressed out and just locked in one position. And the body needs to move. But the more a body does one thing, the better it gets at doing that one thing. So it's like tremendously limiting the body by not using it and keeping it in one position. But it's not natural for the body, so it gets these stress points that when it stands up and everything's proper alignment, it just holds comfortably. But when it's in a position that's not comfortable, something is having to work overtime to maintain this position because there's not a balance. And in doing that, that puts long-term stress on the body, and the energy body is affected also. So even just sitting for years and years is stressful, and it needs to be worked on. I got off on another rabbit trail there. I'm going to wrap up. Healing is important. You don't only have to heal your mind, your brain, your heart, but you also have to heal your body. Because when we live in a way that reminds us, or it is in a manner that's like those old bad times or those traumas or tragedies, it's like we still stay stuck there also. But when we change even the way we use our bodies, it frees us up from being stuck in the limiting past to the future of where I can, be free of all this pain and all this suffering. Because a lot of the suffering we receive daily is in our body, on the inside. And a lot of fears we have are because of what we might be sick with, or what might be wrong, or I got germs on me. And then imagine how many people would not be bitter and angry at other people because they're having a lower back pain. That's just tremendously terrible, but they just don't talk about it or take the proper steps to strengthen their core, stretch the back muscles, get everything, equally developed on both sides to support the mass that's on top. And that means creating really solid pillars down here. And that will alleviate that back pain. It can be done, stretching the hamstrings. So imagine we had a whole bunch of people that felt really good and they were comfortable getting around. Then it's so much easier to be joyous. Imagine not ever wearing shoes that hurt your feet. You're not walking around with your toes crunched. I can't imagine high heels. So, of course, you're going to be a bitter person. It's was it made purposefully to hurt people and be uncomfortable? Anyway, so to wrap this message up, I want to encourage you to think about your energy body. Think about how you stretch and why you're stretching. And just open your mind up to the concept of energy and those constructs I talked about. And when you start doing that, you start leading down. It gives you the understanding of what you're working on and why you're working on it. And when you understand that, and you have that reasoning there, it's oh, now I know that I'm dealing in a totally different ball game, basically. But there's different rules. I can learn them. I can catch up, and I can get things going really good. Okay, I'm done. I hope that was helpful. If you liked it, you liked it. If you didn't, you didn't. If you think this is cool, like and subscribe. I'm trying to do a couple of videos a week. I think I know some stuff that can help other people enjoy life a little better and heal from past stuff. Anyway, I'm going to go ice my back, actually. Roadhouse.